Hello, friends. Let's begin by reviewing the excellent work of the 414th Brigade operators. Magyar's birds, whose FPV drones encountered an S-300V missile launcher vehicle near Borobanki, which is a well-known logistics center where ammunition and all kinds of supplies are stored. So they proceeded to permanently neutralize it with a couple of hits that caused the vehicle to catch fire. They also visited a freight train carrying fuel, which they immobilized by destroying one of the cars and then neutralizing the locomotive. These raids were replicated by the operators of the 413th Brigade raid, who found a Tor anti-aircraft system roaming a field near Berdyansk, so they went down to give it Putin's kiss. It still surprises me that these systems, which are supposedly designed for low-altitude air defense, are incapable of protecting themselves. I'm not complaining, just surprised. Finally, the operators of the 1st Unmanned Systems Center carried out additional attacks against a number of facilities used by the center. Rubicon, including a temporary base, warehouses, a repair center, and a drone workshop in 4 locations on the Zaporizhia front. All these attacks were carried out during the early morning of March 12th, giving the invaders a rude awakening. But today, March 16th, we also had action on this front, because the real defenders really want Ivan to run out of air defenses. In this case, the operators of the 413th Brigade raid managed to neutralize 2 more Tor M2 short-range surface-to-air missile systems near the village of Balashivka on the Zaporizhia front, which is more than 50 kilometers from the front line. In these precision attacks, the defenders used long-range FPV drones equipped with heavy warheads. Interestingly, they also hit an S-300 radar decoy. According to Magyar, the Russians have started using these devices together with their real systems in order to deceive the drone swarms patrolling their rear. It's a desperate measure to protect the valuable radars and anti-aircraft systems they have left, of which they've lost more than 22 units of different types in less than a week. If they keep disappearing this fast, Ivan may only be able to shield himself from the mosquito swarm with an umbrella. I wanted to move on to another topic, but just at this moment I found out that the 413th managed to hit another Russian Tor surface-to-air missile system, which would be the 4th in just 5 days. Now, to be fair, I couldn't say for sure that it's a total loss, but at the very least it must have been seriously damaged, because that hit was right in the fuel compartment combat section where the radar and missile launchers are located, so it's going to require a thorough maintenance before it can operate again. During the early hours of today, March 16th, a swarm of Ukrainian drones attacked the Dnipropetrovsk oil depot in the industrial area of Ladinsk, about 500 kilometers from the front, causing a large-scale fire that destroyed several fuel storage tanks. Images shared on social media show intense nighttime explosions, followed by active fires that produced a dense column of black smoke visible throughout the area. By morning, the fire had spread because a change in wind direction caused the flames to reach the tanks next to the blaze, causing successive detonations that led to the near-total destruction of the facilities. A horrible start to the week for the invaders, some of whom have begun to ask for someone to do something to end the war. The Russians on the Konstantinivka and Pokrovsk fronts are complaining that Ukrainian forces are overwhelming them with swarms of 300 to 400 drones, followed by mobile infantry advancing through their positions. Frontline reports indicate a fundamental shift in Ukrainian offensive doctrine that the invaders have called the drone corridor, which essentially replaces artillery barrages, traditional with high-density, multi-layered swarms of mosquitoes, involving between 300 and 400 drones, which follow a standardized operational sequence, including a suppression phase with waves of mosquitoes, operating on unconventional frequencies to avoid the action of Russian electronic warfare units. These saturate a front of 2 to 5 kilometers, neutralizing infantry firing positions, electronic warfare antennas, and armored vehicles. Once the trenches and the rear of the front are neutralized, a 24/7 aerial surveillance corridor is established to isolate the invaders' positions, preventing reinforcements, supplies, or retreat. After that, small mobile assault groups from specialized battalions storm the positions. Their role isn't to break through the first defensive line, but to secure and clear the area. These units use ground robotic platforms for logistics and evacuation of the wounded, which allows the assault infantry to remain light and focused on clearing the neutralized bunkers. An example of these tactics was given by the 425th Independent Assault Regiment Skala, or ROC in English, which successfully carried out a high-intensity offensive in the southern region of Dnipropetrovsk, managing to break through the invaders' defensive lines, which allowed them to advance 10 kilometers and liberate the settlement of Turnov, where the 200 soldiers of the 425th, despite being outnumbered, fought house to house for 3 days to clear the area. The Ukrainian team surrounded several fortified positions to reach Ivan's rear as quickly as possible. Once this was achieved, it caused the collapse of the local logistical chain of the invaders. The Mosquito units kept the invaders' positions under control at all times, preventing them from supporting each other during the fighting. During the operation, more than 600 occupiers were neutralized, and according to the regiment's command, they managed to recover more than 400 square kilometers of territory. The situation in the liberated sector remains fluid, and the 425th Regiment continues to fight actively on this front, while facing counterattacks from the Horde to retake the lost positions, which have caused additional casualties among the illegal tourists. The Skala Assault Regiment is an elite unit of the armed forces of Ukraine, specializing in high-risk offensive maneuvers, urban warfare, and assaulting complex defensive positions. The regiment is distinguished by its resilience, living up to its name, the Rock. And some of their fame traveled far, reaching the ears of the Rock, Dwayne Johnson, who decided to send a personalized message to all the warriors of the Ukrainian Rock.
Commander.
Commander?
Commander Major Yuri.
Commander Major Yuri of the Rock Skala.
It's the Rock here.
It's the Rock here.
From one rock.
From one rock to another, brother.
Brother, I'm sending
love from the Iron Paradise.
the Iron Paradise. I just started training.
I just finished my workout and thought it was appropriate to send you this message after training.
After my training because
I heard you were a fan of mine, and I feel honored that you are a fan. Also, since you have a name like the Rock Skala, I feel honored.
and I also know that you are commanding,
I also know you're commanding your troops,
and I'm sending you.
and I send you strength and support. I send you mana that comes from here.
I'm sending you mana that comes from in here, and I'm sorry you have to endure this.
And I'm sorry you have to endure this, but you were born for this. You were born to lead. Because your name is The Rock.
Thank you, brother, for being a fan.
Thank you, brother, for being a fan. And someday we should have a training session here. I appreciate you, and give all the guys my regards. Stay strong. And as a good friend of mine usually says, fight like hell.
Okay, my brother Skala the Rock, I am out.
If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Lastly, visit our store, where you can find items inspired by some of Ukraine's most outstanding units. Carry history with you, and with every purchase, you'll be supporting the United 24 program, which directly supports reconstruction programs, aid to the civilian population, and defense. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.